So on our last trip on the way back, we were coming out of a gas station and turned and heard a kaplunk in the trailer in the back. I thought it was just the Pro Pride making noises. And then shortly afterwards, we saw the trailer light come on, like trailer disconnect. I was like, well, crap, let me just make it to the next stop. It didn't ever felt a strong tug or anything like the trailer was trying to lock up or anything. But anyway, guy pulls up alongside me, points back, and anyway, look in the rearview mirror, there's smoke coming all out of the wheels, particularly the rear. Well, actually, it was both of them, front and rear. But mostly the front one was smoking really, really bad. Like, you know, it had locked up and the brake pads were stuck in the out position against the rotor. But, you know, I just pulled it apart. And, you know, this thing has never really locked up the brakes. I've not been happy with the braking system on here. And I've adjusted it. And matter of fact, I adjusted it right before this trip where it was, you know, you tighten up the brakes just to the point where you kind of hear it scraping on the inside of the rotor. And then, you know, when you press it, it should stop. So, I don't know if I don't know if my little electric motors that push out on the brake pads are just weak, or if the pads are just not very good pads from the factory. I don't know. I'm gonna adjust them, tighten them up, and then we'll try to give it another go with this. But I think I may just end up replacing these pads regardless, see if I can't get a little better stopping power with it. I shouldn't have to use an 8 gain to try to slow the trailer down, because it's sad when the trailer brake pulls out and locks the trailer brakes up and I can't even feel it. You know, I'm still going down the road with the 3.5 EcoBoost on the Ford, and I don't even know the trailer brakes are locked up until, you know, I look in the rearview mirror and see that it's smoking out the back. In any case, I'm gonna spray down oh crap. Thought it was gonna fall straight down. But I'm gonna spray these down, kind of clean them up a little bit before I put the rotor back on. I don't necessarily want my spindle getting all trashy either, so we'll cover that up. Hopefully get a little bit better covering. There we go. Okay, now it's, yeah, go down there. Incidentally, I mean, the rotors look fine. I mean, I don't see any, you know, deep grooves or anything that would get me concerned about, you know, damage to the rotor. So yeah, I think we'll be fine. Just tighten it up and see if we can't get a little more mileage out of it. So while I had it off, I went ahead and reapplied grease to get it back up. And I tell you what, these things do not come with enough grease from the factory. I just put in probably 30 pumps just to get it to where it was. Now, granted, I wiped a little bit off when I took it off, but not 30 pumps worth. So double check your Dexter deals. Make sure that you top off with your grease gun. Make sure you got enough grease until you see it coming out from around the washer there. Like I said, I just had to put like 30 pumps to get it to that point. So there's a little thing, you slide your flathead screwdriver in there and you can feel it. You're rotating it upwards and it'll kind of do a little click each time you hit it. And that spreads the little adjustment for the brake pads. You want to get it to right where it starts to scrape a little bit, and then you go ahead and seat it the rest of the way by actually using it. It'll break in. All right, so I got it where it's scraping. And man, I had to come in probably almost a complete turn. Oh, come on. There we go. So you get it tight enough where it, and because it's not completely round, you're gonna have one little spot that's gonna hang up, and then it'll go around the rest of the way. Sometimes I may actually come in a little bit more because it kind of wore that little spot out too fast. But I do smell a little burnt in there, and that could, you know, that might be that little motor, that magnet that was charged with pressing this out. I don't know. All right, so the kaplunk that I heard was my cable that the Camping World guy told me when I was a noob to run it through the chain. So I was making a left-handed turn. I think it wrapped around and this part of the cable it was up in here, got pinched in the thing and pulled pulled out my emergency brake and snapped the cable all at the same time. So terrible idea. Not gonna run that through the chain anymore. We just had to get home and I was paranoid, so I just, anyway, we're gonna get a better another cable, and we're never running it through the chain again. I can't believe Camping World let me leave like that. All right, to test to see if my adjustment is working correctly, I am connected to shore power, so I'm not gonna burn up use up my battery. Good Lord. Oh, come on. There we go. So that should have locked up my brakes. And coming down here, so now we should be locked up. See, still have a little movement. Now, it will not get past that one little spot, so it's obviously working a little bit, but you would think that I would get zero movement at all with the emergency brake popped out. All right, so we're gonna push this back in and see how we flow back on the rotor at this point. All right, so, I mean, the brakes are working to a degree, but it doesn't really seem like it's locking it down like it should.